Please click the subscribe button and the notification icon. It will help us a lot.
Yeah, so in the early days of ClaimCompass, just like many startups, we were really eager to tell people about our idea, to pitch on stage, to get the word out. So this usually gives you media attention, or maybe you can find your next mentor, advisor, team member, or why not even an investor. So that's why we're doing some of these events, just like Get in the Rink or Digital K or a bunch of others. But what really shaped our company and how we developed is going through 500 startups. So 500 startups has a few accelerators or like seed programs are in Silicon Valley. So they have one in San Francisco, one in Mountain View. And they're now opening up, first of all, programs all around the world. Like they just opened one in South America. And they have microfunds as well. So their microfunds function as small VC firms who invest in early stage companies throughout the world. So they actually aim for this global impact. They're not just a Silicon Valley program. They want to reach founders everywhere because they believe that founders don't just come out of the US or out of Stanford or Ivy League colleges, but they can actually be found everywhere. They can disrupt markets, even if they're not in Silicon Valley. So the experience of applying was a lot of fun. First, we didn't consider going to an American program just because our market is mainly here in the EU. But second, we haven't really decided if we want to raise a new round and then just continue working on what we're already doing, or if we really need the assistance of going through the solid program that takes 4 months. You get connected to like dozens of mentors, you go to workshops, so it's really intense. We did, however, meet one of the venture partners at a micro fund of 500 startups, just right at the corner here in Istanbul, in Turkey. So they had just been created, they just finished fundraising, so they were looking at companies in the region, and they met us. So we had a few calls, we shared our metrics and our vision for future growth. And they decided it would be a great idea to make an intro to their American colleagues and to actually forward our application so that we can consider being part of 500 startups in Mountain View. That's what we did. So we had a bunch of calls. It's it's tough because thousands of companies apply every year. Everybody wants to be in Silicon Valley and to be where everything's happening, where innovation is you meet innovation every day and you meet everyone. But it was a hard process. It was a lot of interviews, high criteria. Unlike Y Combinator, 500 startups is actually looking into companies that are scaling up. So they don't just want to catch you at the early stage where you're still building and testing your product. They would prefer to have you on the stage where you're already generating revenue so they can help you 10x that or 20x that. So after going through the interviews, we were at a conference in Germany, one called Bits and Pretzels. It's a startup event, and fun part about it is that everybody is dressed in Oktoberfest attire. So you would see people in lederhosen or in like the traditional dresses. Networking is just like drinking beer. So there at this event, I had the chance of meeting one of the other venture partners of 500 startups. She's called Elizabeth. And she had, I think, around 5 or 10 minutes to spare for my pitch. So we were basically standing in a food court. She just had this limited amount of time and I had to pitch ClaimCompass. But once I did, just a few hours later, we got an email from interviewed us and Elizabeth, who said, okay, we exchanged thoughts and would like to invite you to join the program. So although we were focused on Europe, we were still fairly early. We had nothing to do with the American market at that time. We still managed to get in, and it turned out to be one of the greatest steps we ever took, because then spending 4 months in California and then meeting so many amazing people, getting direct mentorship, just being able to take on some of this mindset that is so much different in Europe, that proved to be very useful for our development.